Take your canvas bags, take your canvas bags. Take your canvas bags to the supermarket. Take your canvas bags. Nothing's right or torn. Come on out of faith. This is how I feel. I'm cold and I am ashamed. Lying naked on the floor.
Hi, happy Sunday. Hi Connie, hi Sarah. I can see Jodine's on as well. Hello, hello. I needed that little pick me up tonight. I just love that. And do you know what I realized tonight? That we never actually get to the end of that that compilation of songs. I always kind of start near the start and we always hear the same one. So I thought we'd hear some of the end ones. And I do love a little bit of Natalie Imbruglia. I wonder what she's doing these days. Alrighty, happy Sunday everyone. Welcome to our Sunday Night Live for the long weekend. Let me know where you are on this long weekend. What you're doing. Did you go away? I know some of you have gone away. I know some of you are in Melbourne for basketball comps and footy. I'm a little bit jealous about that one too. Let me know in the comments what you're doing. Hi Jodine. Hi Emma. As always, it's a hashtag live. If you are here with us live on the Sunday night, if you are watching a replay a bit later on, hashtag replay in the comments. Yeah, let me know what you've done today. Hi, Paula. Hi, Jenny. I can see you guys on there too. Oh, Emma. At least you're in the bath relaxing, love. I hope you feel better soon. Paula's catching up on housework. Yep, I need to do that too, Paula. I really do. Alrighty, so I'm conscious that it is the long weekend. Some of you... Well, I was going to say some of you might be having a drink or two, especially if you're not on the challenge. You might be enjoying the fact that tomorrow is a public holiday. So I won't keep you for too long tonight. Last week, we explored what gut health is. So we looked at a very basic overview of what gut health actually is, how it impacts our bodies, and how it impacts our general health and well-being. And so many of you sent questions in via email. Thank you so much for doing that. And you wanted to know more. So we do know that this is a topic that a lot of you are impacted by on some level. So we are really glad that we're doing it this month. So if we can bring any sort of information to you about gut health, that would be really good. Hi Kylie Davis, I see you on here. Jodine's been to the farmer's market. Hopefully, Jodine, maybe some of the fresh fruit, the fresh veggies that are on the challenge were cheaper at the farmer's market than they have been in supermarkets. I hope so. Like I said, I can't predict when we write these programs what the prices of food's going to be, so that's going to be interesting, but hopefully the farmer's market brought you some good produce. Okay, so tonight we're going to get down and dirty, ladies. We are going to have a look at some of the ways that your body is actually telling you whether or not your gut health needs attention. So I'm going to give you 10 things tonight, 10 sure signs that there is definitely something going on in your gut. And, you know, the fix isn't big on some of these, and we'll go into that in the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to give you 10 signs tonight. Now, full disclosure, ladies, I'm not a doctor. You know this, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a medical professional. What I bring to you in these lives is based on my research, it's based on extensive studies, and it is always based on my own experience, okay? Whether that be my experience as a nutrition and weight management coach or through my own experiences with my own body, okay? So everything I bring to you guys is stuff that I have in some way experienced myself. So I have to preface this talk with that. Just so that you remain aware that I'm not a doctor, okay? So as always, if you have questions as we go, please put them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them as I go. As always, if I can't answer them, I will find out for you, and if you're in a replay of this, I will come back to it later as well. All right, so gut health. You will recall from last week that your gut is responsible for so many things in your bodies, from your energy levels to your brain function, your hormones, how we feel, how our muscles act, how our nerves send messages. Our gut health is like our second brain in our bodies. So how do we know if things are a little off? Okay, let's have a look at some of these now. And if you've got a pen and paper, go for it, write it down. I might actually put this up as a separate post during the week so you can remind yourself if you need to. But let's have a look. Number one is brain fog. And we're talking about not like you just a little bit of mum brain every now and then. We're talking about consistent brain fog, yeah, where you just, maybe you've noticed you can't concentrate, maybe you're consistently being forgetful, but there's nothing actually that you can put it down to. Nothing's happened that you can put it down to as a particular reason, things like that. So it could actually be your gut health, because remember we talked about how the gut sends messages to and from the brain, and if those messages are confused or they're not transmitted or they're even just weak, those messages, brain fog can occur. Okay, so that's one sign that your gut health might not be at its best level. Number 2 is kind of really obvious, and it's an upset stomach or pain in your stomach. So it's really obvious. Things like excess gas, pain in your belly, bloating, sometimes cramping as well. All of those things are signs that your gut health is not going well, particularly if it's not a temporary reaction to something that you've eaten, but it's, it's a bit more ongoing perhaps. It's, it lasts a bit longer than a day or two, so it's not a bug or anything like that. If it's sort of consistent, then it could be a sign of gut health. It's more to do with those microbiota that we talked about last week in your guts and the bacteria, okay, things like that. It's just kind of one of those niggly upset tummies that just kind of doesn't go away. If the balance is off between those bacteria, it could be that as well. Number 3 is vaginal thrush and odors. So this one's obviously for ladies, not for men. So that is based around something called candida. I'm not sure how many people have heard of candida. So this is a really personal topic. Our vaginas are actually one of the best indicators of our gut health, okay? They actually tell us so much information about what is going on. And generally, if you suffer from thrush, it's because you've got something, and it's an imbalance of bacteria, and generally it's a yeast imbalance, okay? And it's called candida. So things like thrush, itching, a change in smell, a change in discharge, those sorts of things is generally telling you that there is an imbalance of bacteria in your gut and that something needs to be done about it. All right, not necessarily pain down there. That's probably something else, but things like odor and color and itchiness, definitely. So start paying attention to what's happening down there, and that might be a bit of an indicator for you as to whether or not your gut health needs attention. Number 4 is inflammation. So things like muscle aches and pains, inflammation around the body, they can be attributed to poor health. We're not talking about when you've injured yourself, obviously, but just sort of that general malice of, my muscles are a bit sore, I'm feeling a bit weak and tired. Nothing major, nothing that's, really knocking you down, but you notice it a little bit more. So if you remember that we talked about last week, the fact that your gut sends those messages through to the brain, but the muscles and the nerves in your body also receive some of those messages, and it can tell your brain to send a message to your muscles. If those messages are mixed up or they're not arriving properly, then that can relate into muscle fatigue and soreness as well. Number 5 is unintentional weight changes. Okay, so pretty simply, your gut health can actually impact your body weight. And quite often it's more to do with putting on. It can make it harder to lose weight. Not all the time, but quite often it can be harder to lose weight if your gut health isn't at its optimal levels. So, of course, if you put on weight, you're probably going to want to be eating better anyway. So that would in turn help your gut balance, because gut balance is all about eating good foods. But if you're losing weight, it could also mean that there's not enough good bacteria in your body to absorb nutrients and function properly as well. So remember that when that balance of bacteria is good, your body is absorbing those nutrients that you put in through the food, and it's sending it out where it needs to go. And when that balance is off, those nutrients are quite often not being absorbed, and they're not getting to where they need to go. And it could make you gain weight, or it could make you lose weight as well. So it works both ways. It depends on how it's working. So unintentional weight changes, even though you're doing everything right, or maybe you're not doing anything at all and you keep losing weight, it could be a sign of gut health. Number 6 is skin irritations and conditions, i.e. hormones. Now, this is one that I know very personally, because your skin speaks volumes about your internal health, and it speaks volumes really about your gut health. So I know when my gut health is not at its best because I break out in these big zits, and it's always the same spots. It's always the hormonal spots. So I know that mine is based on hormones as well. Okay, yeah, I just thought I'd grow this little one for you tonight as a sign of, like exhibit A, this is what happens. No, we don't all have perfect gut health all the time. That's just life. So there is something called your gut-skin axis, right? It's where your gut is actually in direct contact with your skin. So more often than not, if there is an issue with your gut, your skin's going to show it, okay? It might not necessarily be acne. It could be dehydration. It could be itchy skin rashes. It could just be redness, dryness, just a bit of sensitivity. Okay, more often than not, your skin will actually tell you if your gut is not functioning best. Plus, your skin actually has its own microbiome, right? So your skin is its own living organism. And if the microbiomes in your gut are not well balanced, then you can pretty much guarantee the microbiomes in your skin are going to be unbalanced as well. Your skin, like I said, your skin could be dry, it could be itchy, flaky, red, swollen, irritated, filled with acne, blemishes, whatever it is. So make sure that you pay attention to your skin as well, because that is a huge telltale sign that things aren't going on in your in your gut. Number 7 is food intolerances. This one's kind of really obvious, isn't it? Because your gut's always going to tell you if it doesn't like something you've eaten. Let me know in the comments, guys, if any of this is new for you, or if you're not sure about it, or maybe I'm telling you stuff you already know. Please give me some feedback in the comments so I know. So number 7 is food intolerances. Yes, it's obvious, but food intolerances generally arise when our gut can't tolerate or process what we're putting in. Okay, that's what it comes down to. So you know when you've eaten something your body doesn't like because your body tells you. It might tell you through your bowels. It might tell you through vomiting. It might even tell you through your skin. But that is a big sign that there's something in your gut that's not working properly, because then you've eaten it, because that's how you know, right? It's not processing those nutrients properly. So let's say you're intolerant to dairy. Your gut just cannot process dairy. So your gut health is not as optimal as it probably could be. Number 8 is autoimmune diseases. Again, based around hormones, okay? Autoimmune diseases are really closely linked to hormones. So 80% of your immune cells, okay, so your immunity is located in your gut. 80%. So it goes without saying that if your gut health is off, your immunity is off. Your immune system is down, right? We talk about this all the time when we're unwell, so our immune system drops down. Now, this could mean that you're more susceptible to colds and viruses and bugs. I know there's a tummy bug going around at the moment. But also, you run a higher risk of being susceptible to autoimmune diseases. So things that are a bit more chronic. We touched on this a bit last week. Things like, but not always this as well. This, it could be other reasons for these, but things could include lupus, Hashimoto's, psoriasis even, Crohn's disease, diabetes. There are all sorts of things to consider. If you take the most basic of those, which is like psoriasis, that could very well be your gut health. Okay, so it could be worth exploring that as well. It might not always be the major cause, or it might not always be the main cause. There could be something else underlying, but again, these are signs that something could be really wrong in your gut health. Number 9, this is me. This is 100% me, is sugar cravings. Hands up, guys, if you've ever had sugar cravings. I want to see those hands go up, up, up. Come on, there's like 12 of you on here right now. I reckon I need to see at least 10 hands go up. So sugar cravings. And there is a saying we use here in my house, and I use it with my clients as well, and it is that sugar breeds sugar. Basically, when you have sugar, you want more sugar. In order to not crave sugar, you actually need to detox from sugar. And the reason is our body is trying to get more of it because there is a certain type of bacteria in your gut called yeast, okay? And yeast actually needs sugar to survive. That's what it survives on, okay? So hardcore sugar cravings are a sign that the yeast, the buildup of yeast in our gut is too much, okay? That there's too much in there and that the yeast is saying, feed me, feed me, feed me, and you don't want that. That's when you want to detox, all right, from sugar, when you are having those hardcore cravings. And yeah, it's the worst time to detox because you're having cravings. I know it is such a paradox to put your body through. But when that buildup of yeast happens in your gut and those cravings are kicking in, you may also get those signs of vaginal thrush, right? It's actually, that is the number one telltale sign that you've got a yeast problem in your gut, is the sugar cravings and the thrush. Okay, the yeast in your gut is telling your brain, I'm not surviving here. I need more sugar. You need to feed me to keep me alive. What you need to do, what we need to do, me included, is try not to listen. Okay, we do try not to, we do need to really not listen to that one and feed the sugar. Sugar's great sometimes, and finding that balance is great. But when you're starting to have those other telltale signs, it's probably a time to starve the yeast as much as you can and give your body a break. So a really big buildup of yeast in the gut is not good for our immune system. That throws the bacteria levels off. All right, number 10. And this one's probably close to home for most of us because we're busy women and we work and we are looking after ourselves, but it is constant bad mood. Go on, I want to see those hands up again. When you're in a constant bad mood, it again is related to hormones. Remember that your gut is very responsible for hormones. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. So the microbiomes in your gut are a huge contributor to your moods and your mental health. Huge, absolutely huge, guys. There is certain evidence, although it needs more study, but it does suggest that some of our hormones are actually made in our gut, okay? Add to this the fact that your gut transmits those signals to the brain for everyday functionality, and if those messages are confusing or they're not getting through, then your mood and your mental health may actually be severely impacted. All right, so if you are someone who finds you're in a bad mood and you just can't shake it, try eating really well for a week or two and see if that helps. I'm not saying it definitely will, but I'm saying it might, okay? So eating really, really good foods, lots of veggies, lots of lean proteins, rather than the sugary processed type foods, and just see if that helps to lift your mood up. All right, guys, who's got some questions? Let me know in the comments. I've kind of blitzed through those 10 tonight. Wow. Which one do you think, guys, that is you? Which one stands out for you the most? And you think, oh, yeah, that's me. Maybe I need to do something about that. Let me know in the comments. For me, it's always sugar. For those that know me really well, you know I do have an issue with sugar. I am addicted, so I'm an all or nothing personality. If it's around, I have to have it. That's why we don't keep it around in my house. It's just the way I am. I'm that type of personality. Sugar, yeah, frank as sugar as well. Yeah. And it actually, the sugar, it just comes down to gut health at the end of the day. And like I said, sugar breeds sugar. So the more sugar we have, the more our body actually wants sugar. It wants it. So the longer we can go without it, the better off we are, because our body starts to learn to function without it. So detoxing off of sugar, on a regular basis is actually really advisable. It's really good for your overall health. Yeah, I'm looking at lots of sugars coming through on the comments. Yeah. It's nice to know we're not alone, isn't it, ladies? It's really nice to know that we're not the only ones. And, sugar cravings could be just hormonal, or it could be, a continuous thing. So it's not always simply related to your gut health, but a big portion of it will be. Franca, the best thing I ever did was watch the Sugar movie. Yeah, absolutely. If you guys haven't seen the Sugar movie, definitely worth a watch. In all that spare time that we've all got, but definitely, worth a watch. All right. So I hope that something there tonight has sparked some food for thought for you. Jody doesn't have sugar in her house. If she's a craving, it's salty food, so different cravings. Awesome. I try not to have sugar in my house either, Jody, but that's because I have sugar cravings. That's cool. Do I believe that leaky gut is the same? No, leaky gut is not the same as poor gut health. No, not at all, Jodine. Two separate issues. All right, so let me know if you learned something new. I really always do like to know if I've been able to bring you anything new, or if, I don't want to be sitting here on a Sunday night wasting your time with things that you already know. Next week, we are going to look at 5, I had to think about it then, but I've got it written down here. Next week, we're going to look at 5 common foods that could be destroying your gut health. And I reckon we've talked about one of them tonight. So you already know what one of them is. Maybe I'll have to find 5 more for you, because sugar just goes without saying, I think. If you have any questions about this one tonight, please feel free to pop them below. Like I said, even if you're here tonight or if you're watching as a replay, I will try and come back and answer them for you. All right, lovely ladies, thank you for joining me on this Sunday night. I was trying to keep this one a bit shorter this week, because I know it's the long weekend and hopefully you're all enjoying some family time. So I've managed to keep it under half an hour for a change, which is really cool. I'm really proud of myself. All right, lovely ladies, go look after yourselves. Eat some really good food this week. Look after your gut health, and I will catch you next week. All right, guys, bye.